Russell for mining.com.au, and joining me today is James Gurry, the Managing Director for Aureka. James, it's great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, Shae. Good to be with you again.
Now, it's been a busy year for Aureka, and I suspect 2025 will be no different. But before we start looking forward, let's look backward. And can you briefly summarise some of Aureka's key achievements for 2024?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Shae. It has been a big effort by the team in 2024, and it's culminated in us trading again on the ASX, and we've seen a nice move up in the share price in recent couple of weeks. So it's really terrific that we've been able to capitalise after really gaining hold of the company and the tenements at the start of the year. Then it was a lot of hard work by the corporate finance team to put together a nice syndicate of investors that remain with us today, actually. So they're supportive all the way through. So even when we weren't trading on the ASX and the company was suspended and we were getting our compliance and our couple of annual reports that we had to do, and I'm not sure if you remember, but one day, I think it was sometime in August or July, we lodged 5 quarterly reports. So there was a lot of work that we got done during the year to get this company back in position so that we can recommence that quality exploration activity that the previous team had in place, and they've set the foundational stone now that we're going back into the field, and we've been out to site this week, which is fantastic. So it has been a lot of work in 2024, but as people keep saying to me, actually, the real work starts now. And I absolutely realised that the exploration manager now is in the field. He's really super busy. He's got the drill contractors and the drill rigs mobilising to site as we speak, which is fantastic. So I think it has been a big year, and we even changed the name from Navarre to Aureka recently, and that has been particularly well received. Even though it's a catchy name, people really do appreciate the ticker as well, AKA. So it is slightly memorable. But what we really want to do next year is make our drill results and our projects really stand out for everyone. So you're right. It's been a great year. We've got the new team, new name, new image in place, and I think we've got a new attitude to work as we go ahead. Looking forward to getting that continuous drill program really coming through, so that people can actually see what we're delivering for them. So yeah, 2024 has been good, but 2025 is only going to be bigger and better, I think.
Well, let's talk about 2025. Now, in past interviews, you have mentioned that Aureka will have 330 days of continuous drilling, which is phenomenal for any exploration company. But let's sort of dial it back just a little bit. And what is the key focus going into 2025?
Yeah, great point, Shae. So when we designed the exploration program, and people will remember me describing that Kenny Bush and the guys at Core Prospecting, they're the ones that in the middle of the year went out to all our sites and reviewed the tenements, the standings of the tenements, and the prospectivity across all the projects. In particular, our key projects being the Irvine resource, where you can see the numbers in the background, and also the project with particular interest from a joint venture point of view, and being in the Bendigo zone, the Tandarra project. You know, that was already drilled back in March and April of this year. So designing that exploration program, really was a remit that we have a continuous program. And as you've touched on, the program is designed to run for about a year, 330 days or so. And designed to be continuous. And you can't quite see the map; it's at the bottom of the graphic behind me. But given the position of our projects in the west of Victoria, and they're about 60 kilometres from each other, and 30 kilometres outside of Ballarat for Jubilee, so it will be rather advantageous for us to be able to move the rigs from one project to another as we're waiting for assay results or if there's a pause in play at one of the drilling at one of the sites. We will have most of the drilling focused on the Irvine project and the resolution lode in particular. So that's going to be our focus. We know that most of the money that investors have given us is for that project in particular, but also Tandarra. So Resolution and Tandarra, they're the two projects that we will be drilling in January, which is fantastic. And we've been out to site with the contractors this week, and Peter's out there. So we're getting our people and contractors and the drill rigs into position now, which is great.
Obviously, that's the immediate work to commence. But for everyone new to the Aureka story, what is the big picture going to be for 2025?
Thanks, Shae. Yeah, the big picture here is that we've got a big portfolio of gold exploration assets, and they're not greenfield assets or anything like that. We know where the mineralization is, and the previous team had a number of discoveries. So we're really unashamedly Victorian, and we're unashamedly gold. So we expect the macro environment for gold to continue strongly in 2025. And I think, from a share price point of view, the shareholders of Aureka have really sort of missed out on 2024's rally because we were getting ourselves organized from a compliance perspective. But now we're ready to really hit the ground running. And these projects haven't been drilled for 2 or 3 years now. So I think there's a lot of pent up work to do. There's pent up news flow, and there's pent up value that we can add to our projects and report to people. Particularly as we test the extensions and the extent of the known mineralization that we have at the moment. And that's key for us in recent weeks, is talking to our landholders and gaining access to not only the areas that were previously drilled, but also just extending and pushing that out into fresh areas, so that we can give investors an idea of just how far our vast amount of mineralization that we already have, how much further that we can push it. And that's what we really want to aim to deliver in 2025, is both an increased volume and hopefully also an increased grade of the JORC resource that we have at the moment around the Irvine project. So that's 304,000 ounces, and that's at a grade of 2.43 grams per tonne. And remember, surrounding that JORC resource is the exploration target, and that's got a range of 280 to 420,000 ounces. So for a very humble market cap that we have at the moment, it's a terrific endowment that we start off on, and that we're looking to extend as we go through 2025. And don't forget, as we go up to St Arnaud, that's a terrific gold field that's had quite a bit of work done, not only 100 years ago when there were multiple mines in that area, and mining occurred right up until the 1990s. But we will look to put more drill holes in around that Comstock pit, so that we can hopefully work towards our first JORC resource on that project within 12 months, which will be terrific. And also just heading down south to Jubilee. So there's plenty of work for us to do. The key focus in the west is obviously the Irvine project, but also we've got those complementary other projects that we can work as well as we go through 2025.
Listen, James, I'm not allowed to have favourites, but as a Victorian who's passionate about Victorian gold, I say that the Victorian gold rush renaissance is here. James, thank you so much for being here today, and I cannot wait to see what Aureka dig up out of the ground.
It's great, Shae. Thanks for having me.